So for this video, I wanted to go over my turning point and what I had learned from Mastery by Robert Greene. Each of these strategies have sort of reflected a part of my life that I feel all stems from high school to college, in which I had basically made a lot of mistakes in terms of choosing a career path. And it's through this Mastery course and the Mastery reading that I've come to the realization that these strategies aren't just, academic reading processes that I can get an easy A for, but rather parts that I can use for my life. And I'm just going to go over these strategies now. So strategy one was the returning to the origins. And it sort of reminded me of my high school graduation, which I wanted to go for an English degree so that I can teach English in either middle school or high school. But then I was swept up by filming and I wanted to go into film directing. And after I graduated with a digital media focus in mass communication with a minor in English, I realized that neither of those two were my passions, and that at my origin, I loved to draw. I was drawing in middle school, elementary, high school, and I realized those were my main passions that I should have focused on, but unfortunately just never really got a hook into, which goes into my perfect niche strategy too, in which I had basically developed this sort of thing that I got from Japan with their light novels, where they would write a chapter, and then at the end of that chapter, they would put an illustration that sort of reflected as a visual cue for what happened in the prior chapter. And I wanted to go for that, but I was afraid that that kind of thing wouldn't make me much money, so that was sort of put on the back burner. Thus going into my other rut, which was strategy 3, false paths. False paths was definitely something that I linked to the most. I had 2 false paths, the first being the English degree and the second being the digital media mass communications degree. Thus going into strategy 4, which was letting go of the past, getting rid of conventionals that you were raised on and trying to adapt to new things. And that's definitely what I did for my drawing. I used to really do a lot of traditional drawing, in which I was drawing with pen, paper, pencil, and all that. I looked at the industry and saw where it was going and decided to put my efforts into digital drawing. So I got a drawing pad, got a drawing pen, and my first attempts weren't perfect, but it was a learning curve in which I had to learn how to adapt to it. And I've drawn some pretty amazing stuff, personal opinion. And I'm still learning a lot of this stuff. And so that goes into the 5th strategy, which was finding my way back. When I deviated from art, I was doing so to find a career that would make money and just make smart investments towards my future career in finding a high-paying job. It was a terrible idea. It was awful. Following Buckminster Fuller's whole process of how he just lost everything and had to find that voice in his head to tell him to go back to what he was supposed to do, I felt like my voice was from my mother and from my brother. My mom and my brother wanted to make logos for their ideas, and they came to me to make those logos. And it was from making those logos that I realized that art was the passion that I should have been going for, but I just didn't. So now it's through this master's program that I have realized that I need to come up with better strategies. Strategy 1, specify what I wanted to do, which is basically passing this master's program and going on to getting A's and all my other stuff. Also finding other passions that I didn't think I had that still connect to my art. Number 2 was M, to measure how I'm going to do it. Measure my time, measure my days, measure how I'm going to follow this career path, and conquering my 2 main enemies, which is my motivation and my concentration. Then comes A, in which I wanted to achieve passing the classes, which is very realistic. So in terms of relevance, I kind of equate it to a flip of a coin, in which heads, I pass the class, tails, I learn new things that will further advance me in life. Whatever part it lands on, whether it be heads or tails, at the very least, I would know that I have accomplished something. it landed on tails. And thus comes to T, time bound. And this is something that is sort of my main goal, to have good time management. And hopefully by September, I can be able to pass this entire class, this mastery course, with a decent grade. I'm looking towards A+. I'm really reaching for the stars this time. To be honest, this is actually the first time I have truly put my all into something. I don't really know what the future holds, and it kind of scares me. I can't just do nothing and sit around and let life pass me by as I go through these courses. This is something that I really want to put my all into. Something that I'm hoping to find an actual career towards, that I can enjoy, that I can be proud of, and that I can really have a passion for. As Maya Angelou said, nothing will work unless you do.